Some cases divide investigators, and some cases divide experts, but very few cases divide everyone. Police, journalists, forensic scientists, psychologists, and even the public, in quite the way the JonBenét Ramsey case does. Tonight we're going to take a step back from the evidence and look at something just as important: why people interpret this case so differently, and why those interpretations have become as much a part of the mystery as the evidence itself. This is the mini episode that bridges us between Part 3 and Part 4 of the JonBenét Ramsey case, and it's all about the fault lines beneath the theories. In Part 3, we explored the two dominant theories, the family theory and the intruder theory. But those theories didn't just emerge from the evidence. They emerged from the people interpreting the evidence. According to Lawrence Schiller in Perfect Murder, Perfect Town, the Boulder Police Department fractured early. Some detectives felt the crime scene showed signs of staging. Others believed the unknown DNA carried more weight. The district attorney's office leaned one way, and the police leaned another. These were not small disagreements, they were foundational, like two teams building two different puzzles from the same box of pieces. And when the investigators disagree, the public eventually follows. One of the most polarizing pieces of evidence in this case is the DNA. According to the Colorado Bureau of Investigation and Bode Technology, the 2008 analysis pointed to an unidentified male, a result that led DA Mary Lacey to clear the Ramsey family. But that same DNA was scrutinized during the 2016 CBS forensic review, where experts argued the sample was too small, could be from secondary transfer, and could be manufacturing contamination. What you're left with is two reputable sources, two expert groups, and two completely different conclusions. This is the essence of the JonBenét problem: evidence that is simultaneously meaningful and uncertain. Behavior is another fracture point. Former detective Steve Thomas described certain family behaviors as suspicious, but trauma psychologists interviewed on CNN, as well as investigators quoted in Schiller's reporting, emphasized that trauma produces unpredictable reactions. To one investigator, a detail looks like staging. To another, it looks like shock. To the public, it looks like inconsistency. And to experts, it looks inconclusive. Behavior becomes reflection. Reflection becomes interpretation. Interpretation then becomes theory. But none of it is evidence. Here are some of the details from Part 3 that fuel disagreement. The ransom note. It's long and theatrical. The unknown male DNA. The high-tech boot print that matches no known person. The broken basement window with undisturbed cobwebs. The length of the note. It's unusual for intruders. The lack of forced entry. The staging indicators inside the basement room. Each theory, family, intruder, and hybrid, explains some of these things perfectly and fails to explain others. And that's why the case divides people. It rewards whichever details you choose to prioritize and contradicts whichever theory you're most confident in. The last reason this case fractures people has nothing to do with evidence at all. It has to do with emotion. A young child murdered in her home, wealth, beauty pageants, a long ransom note, a public family under scrutiny, a quiet Colorado town shaken by a national tragedy. It hits emotional nerves that shape how people feel about the evidence. And emotion can be louder than forensics. This Friday in part 4, we move into one of the most controversial pieces of evidence in the entire case, the ransom note. We'll break down the linguistic patterns, psychological signatures, investigative comparisons, odd details, internal contradictions, and what the note may reveal about the author's mindset. Not who wrote it, but how they wrote it, and what that might mean. Because if there's any single piece of evidence that captures the contradictions of this case, it's the note that started everything. As a reminder, MidnightMysteryArchive.com is live now. Go there, stream episodes right there from your web browser. Also, there's a Submit a Case tab. If you've got a case that you want me to cover on the show, go there, send me the details, let me look into it. Another quick call out, I've also started a Facebook group. Hopefully it'll be a place for listeners of the podcast and myself to go discuss the cases that we cover on the show and maybe look at other true crime cases that are in the news. I look forward to seeing you all there. Remember, part 4 of the JonBenét Ramsey case arrives this Friday. We'll see you on Friday. Until next time.